Welcome to the Pistol Midweek Mental Break.
Mark, we're back for the midweek mental break. And I love the intro, bro. I got it looped and it's kicking in. So,
well, hello, Manny.
Right. I forgot. You want to do intros. My name's Manny. And you are?
Mark.
Veronica.
Josh.
All right. For those of you guys that aren't watching,
Way
the new
to cue him
viewers,
on that.
I love it. We do got to send a shout out to the viewers that we have now, too. So this week is for the previous week. So August 15th, I believe, is the week that we're going to be talking about last week. This particular topic, it's going to cover two topics at least, maybe three, depending on the time. But the first one is this Glendale firefighter. He's a captain out of Glendale, Kevin Thompson. He got diagnosed with cancer related to the job earlier this year. And surprisingly enough, I don't know if you guys would be surprised, but work comp denied his fucking claim.
Say it ain't so. Say it
Even
ain't
though
so, Joe.
a law was passed in Arizona that particular type of cancer was presumptive that he would have got it from the job. And, well, that's the kind of nonsense that we're up against. And right before we started taping this, you guys were going back and forth. I just started asking the question about the IME, right? Because it was an IME that denied him.
Yeah, the IME doctor denied the claim, I guess. I don't even know what he would have denied.
Well, he didn't deny he had cancer. He denied that it happened from being a firefighter.
Yeah, and this type of cancer that the man has is, he's been a captain for over 20 plus years with Glendale, city of Glendale, and it's referred to currently as the 9/11 cancer. And I forgot the type of cancer that it is, but the state law now covers that, saying that it's presumptive that if you got that type of cancer, that you got that from the job. And presumptive meaning it's not up to this individual as a patient and a victim of the cancer to prove that he got it on the job. The presumptive evidence concludes that he did get it on the job, and it's up to the city of wherever they work, in this case Glendale, to prove that he did not get it on the job. So I don't know how you could possibly work for 20 plus years, get hired on with cancer of this particular type, and then go through 20 plus years on the job and not have any evidence of it manifest itself to where it wouldn't be completely evident to him. So I don't know how the IME could conclude that the guy did not get it on the job and that they did deny his workers' comp claim. It's strictly because workers' comp, that's what workers' comp does. No matter what happens to you, you could get your legs chopped off. You had that before you started working here.
It was pre-existing.
Yeah, pre-existing.
So the type of cancer he has is spelled myeloma. Myeloma? Myeloma?
Yeah.
And it's basically cancer of the blood. It's not curable. It's a non-curable. So I mean,
and it's from all the fumes that those guys
right,
ingest.
and the dirt and all the shit that goes on their clothes, and then they
Yeah.
put their same shit back on again.
Yeah.
This is what Jon Stewart was fighting for, I believe, back in New York, right?
It was. Yeah.
So no amount of money that we tried, and our organization is really very minimal with money. We use our money to help officers get the help that they need, send them to places like West Coast, get their doctors paid for.
And firefighters
now. And so in situations like this, even if we had $1 billion, the fucking insurance companies aren't going to listen to us. They're going to deny it. They're hedging their bets that this guy's going to die before the claim's accepted through the courts, and then they don't have to pay. The really fucked up part about this story is that his own city, the city of Glendale, actually made a statement saying that it was out of their hands and that the doctor made that determination. Now, I can almost guarantee you that firefighter, he had multiple diagnoses from various doctors.
Yeah.
So let's just say he had 3 diagnoses, 3 different opinions that said, yes, you do have this cancer. Yes, it was caused by work-related, being a firefighter. One doctor gets to come in and just nix all that other doctor shit. He just gets to say they're all wrong. All 3 of you motherfuckers are wrong. And that's the kind of nonsense that we deal with every day with police and fire, especially with PTSD. Clearly, if they're going to ignore fucking cancer that the law says they have to show that is presumed from the department, and they're just blatantly going to ignore it. What the fuck do you think they're going to do to us?
I don't know, because this law being in effect now, it should be protecting us and protecting these firefighters. You guys should check into Facebook, because Facebook is blowing up on this. I know a lot of Glendale firefighters, and they are just lighting this stuff up. They can't stand it. This guy is being hung out to dry, and I hope you all chime in on that and repost all of their stuff that you see, because I've got some great friends, highly respected within that department, and they're all just tearing this stuff up. And it's shame on that city, all the way up to the top. It's taken all the way to the mayor, because you guys need to do the right thing by this guy. It takes me back to my case, obviously, and Mayor Scruggs, who was the mayor at the time, totally stood up for me, stood by me and everything else. And I just call on this current mayor to do the exact same thing for this man.
I don't think they're... I think they did talk to the mayor, they did talk to the city, and they're basically saying it's out of their hands. It's unfortunate. Even the legislator that wrote the bill said this is unfortunate that they are blatantly, and this isn't a quote, I'm just going off memory, that it's just sad that they would disrespect or disobey the law at the time.
I think he even said, he used the words that they're violating the law right now by not accepting this claim.
But they're not going to hold them responsible.
Right.
There's no responsible, for them. They're not responsible for, what are they going to say? Don't do it again? Meanwhile, this firefighter's got to pay out of pocket almost $1,200 every time he goes to get chemo, and he's not even retired.
Well, I know
he's still going on the rig.
I know what Mayor Scruggs did for me. She demanded that they have a new independent medical exam done for me. And
is she still the mayor?
No. Now it's Jim Wires.
Oh, well.
And Mayor Wires, you can do the same thing and put your influence and your weight in behind that in your office and have it done. And bring justice for this man, because the state law is behind you, and you've got a lot of pull and you got a lot of power in there, and I hope you do that.
So that was one of the more current events when it comes to first responders and how we're getting treated.
Right.
And if they've already pretty much beat us to the ground, now they're going after the fucking hose draggers and fucking with those guys and telling them, we know you got it on duty, but we're not going to fucking pay for it, which I think is just absolutely absurd.
Yeah. It is, and the public support there's a ton of support behind firefighters, and I hope everybody weighs in. If you want some cardboard signs and some pickets, I'll be willing to organize that for you.
Fuck the pickets. I say go down and fucking call those people to the carpet.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
do you think people are going to sign up to be a fucking firefighter knowing that you can get cancer and they're going to tell you to fuck too bad?
What I do know is all of those people are elected that have the ability to weigh in and influence things and make things happen all over again. So,
and then so that's one of the current events. The other one was Phoenix PD came out, and Chief Jerry Williams, along with Mayor Kate Gallegos, came out, and they have this grand, wonderful idea of how they're going to be transparent for their officers and for the community bridging to come together between the police and the citizens of Phoenix, which we're down. I think we're we're almost in like 60 days without an officer-involved shooting, which is tremendous in Phoenix.
That is.
But they came out with this whole laundry list of shit that they're going to change. How officers are going to be carrying body cams now. How they're going to be changing their politics, be more transparent. One of the things that they changed, which I think is absolutely absurd, is every time that a Phoenix police officer takes his gun out, he has to write a report. So I don't know about you guys, but in Mesa, my gun was out all the fucking time. Like 90% of the time.
Every shift.
It was fucking out all the time. That's a lot of fucking paperwork. Not that I minded paperwork.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that's like asking a surgeon to document every time he takes out a fucking scalpel.
Well, and that's the thing, too. It's not like always it is on the continuum of the use of force. But I'll tell you this, when you're clearing a building and you're just answering a simple house alarm burglar call or something like that, your gun is out or you're not going to make it.
Well, it's not just when it's out. It's when it's actually pointed at someone. So the problem is that if you go off the continuum, right, and for the listeners that don't know about the continuum, you've got officer presence, command presence.
I never got any of those presents.
So you didn't get
Did you
I
guys
thought-
get any of those presents?
I thought you did.
Every Christmas I thought, man, the officer presents I'm gonna get under
Did
that
you-
tree.
I thought didn't you have a black belt in verbal judo?
Didn't I?
You talk people off
I must
ledges.
have missed the definition of.
So every time, so we don't write paper when we show up and yell at somebody, right? Like, hey, get the fuck off, get off the fucking stairwell. Stop beating your wife. You know, we don't.
Well, stop beating your wife. Would
You're
be
gonna write a report
paperwork.
for that.
Not what
make an
we
arrest.
said.
But-
Not what we said.
No, but-
Because you guys know you fuckers probably said bad shit.
Well, you can talk a lot of people out of jail.
right.
You can talk a lot of people out of an offense and calm things down. And 99% of the time, if the person will cooperate with you, that's exactly how it's going to go. Hey, listen, man, if you can just leave, I'm not going to arrest you for disorderly conduct. I'm not going to disrupt you, for whatever the case may be. If you'll just leave and calm down, it's the end of it. And there is no report for that. You know,
Yeah, but
maybe
that
a
shit's
log
kinda
report.
gone to the wayside.
Yeah.
Because if you don't take somebody to jail and then he comes back and does something wrong, then you're fucking media and you were a lazy cop.
I'm not saying a DV call or something like that. I'm just saying some dude at Circle K is hanging out. They want him
Like
to
a
get out of there.
trespass?
Yeah, something like that.
Well,
Unofficial.
I just think
trespass.
that that's just going to make officers second guess themselves. And I can honestly tell you that I did not ever regret pointing my gun at people that needed it pointed at them. I didn't randomly just take my gun and point it at people and
No.
say, "Hey, you, sir,
Yeah.
come over here."
Jaywalker.
Yeah, you.
Jaywalking.
You
That's
see
wrong.
me,
You
motherfucker.
weren't using that flashlight?
Yeah.
No.
Hey, press hard. 3 copies.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, I didn't. It
It's
wasn't,
none of that, obviously.
They were coming out like,
Yeah.
and
Your safety was in jeopardy.
well, it's not
That
that,
was the
but I
first
mean,
thing.
they seriously. If my guns come, if I'm clearing leather, there's a reason.
Yeah.
It's not just because I'm bored,
Right.
right? And I think that's just going to cause these officers to second guess themselves. It's going to give them the hesitation they need, ultimately get officers hurt and killed.
Yeah.
So
True.
the last thing that we'll talk about that happened was back in L.A. The governor signed into, I don't know what he signed it in, to be honest with you, but somehow they changed the continuum or the last level of deadly force from what a reasonable, or not, I don't want to say what a reasonable, because Josh corrected me, but reasonable to use your weapon to necessary. Meaning they're going to look at it, though, as not, was it reasonable that you shot that person, but was it necessary? And one quick thing
What's
about
the difference?
Well, I'll tell you there's a big difference.
Perception by the
Because if
people.
someone says, I did not see him point the gun at Mark, so therefore I didn't think it was necessary that he pulled the trigger. Because
He
one
could
of
have
the,
used his taser.
Right.
He could have used this.
it's
or,
got to
you
be
know.
what they're, and no one knows what the definition
Right.
of necessary
Right.
means. What's your definition? I mean, how many times you go on a call where people were like, I don't think our taser's necessary here. Like, we should just go straight to guns or vice versa. Right? It's
so
subjective.
ambiguous, yeah.
It's
Right.
subjective.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? And that's going to be a problem. And one of the things that did happen, and I can touch on it real quick, was if you guys didn't see it, this shitbag fucking criminal didn't like the outcome of his court hearing and was told to leave the courtroom by the judge, and then he gets his stuff together, and then he fucking blindsides. Right, Josh? You saw
Yeah,
it?
I saw that was the same judge in my first shooting that I went to court a
That's
couple months
awesome.
ago. I recognized the judge, but yeah, I saw the video when he blindsided
He
the,
just fucking blindsides his
attorney.
defense attorney. He just fucking
punched
sucker
him?
punched him. Yeah, and then you know what he does?
What?
He raises his hands up to not get the shit beat out of him by the deputies. Now, so here's the dilemma, right? Is it necessary for him to get his ass beat? Or
Well, he
is
absolutely
it
needs to-
reasonable to get his ass beat?
He absolutely needs to be grounded and taken to the ground immediately because your hands up.
Well,
That
here's what
doesn't
I'll
mean
do.
anything.
Here's
except
what I'll do.
that I could do a karate chop on you, or I'm getting ready to do some Muay Thai up on
Right.
you.
So
The guy just beat his defense attorney.
He just
Put your
all-
hands up. I mean, you're going to be standing up over here. Good.
yeah,
You know,
What I'll do
that's
is-
his next move. Forget about it.
What I'll
hands
do.
up, unless you cut your hands off and threw them on the ground, you're still a threat to me.
Well, what I'll
You're
do
going
is
down. You're going
I'll
to the
post-
ground, and I'm going to yank you to the ground and smash your face
Yeah,
in the ground.
it didn't happen
until,
that way.
Oh, no?
It
They
didn't
kind of
happen
gave him a
that way.
hug.
Yeah, what I'll do is I'll post
All right.
the
I'd like to
video
see that.
during our midweek breakdown. I'll post it just above these guys' heads over here somewhere.
Okay.
But so that's where I think it's hairy to say it's necessary, because what basically you can just hit somebody blindside and put your hands up and say, okay, sorry, don't hit me the way I just hit that guy.
Right.
And I think I can see that going bad in LA, where a guy turns the corner, starts firing rounds, misses the officers, and because he's, let's say, has a lull in the fight and they're engaging, they're going to say, well, it wasn't necessary for you to shoot him because he was out of bullets or because he didn't fire. It's just too fucking subjective to say,
Right.
when is it necessary? Because look, a guy comes at me with a stick, it's necessary to shoot that motherfucker.
Yes.
Right? But in this day and age, they're going to say, well, no, like Veronica said, you could have tased him. Right?
De-escalate.
You could de-escalate.
I think
Sir.
that was in the wording of the thing too. There more de-escalation in LA, more tactics or.
Wow.
And that's like when they say shit like that, I think of your shooting, Mark, and I think of Josh's shooting. Right? The guy's mouthing off. You already are high. He's already fired at you. Are you going to de-escalate that shit? What do you? Hey, stop firing at us, sir, so we don't have to kill you. So, I think the necessariness of it is just too fucking broad.
It is.
So, with that being said, if you guys have comments, you want us to talk about something,
This should blow up with comments.
might. So when I put the
better
video up
be
there, you
putting
guys
some
will see it.
comments
So
in.
put comments up there, and we appreciate checking out the midweek mental break. We'll see you next week.